All right, thank you so much for joining us. It's Friday. I love Fridays, you know why I do love Fridays. Fridays. Nenga tuyingidewo nate for another day. It's cold in Kampala. Akakuba kaasuze katonya era kakedde katonya. You can imagine. Please carry your jackets and everything to keep you warm in the dinner bobomanyi your health status. Yes, today Mukaga ogwa November. I have quite a number of birthdays, but first let me send greetings to my own. Yes, Omuzana Susan Nachibinge of Wakiso. She is 80 years today. We, Fe, Abana Nabazukulu from Prince Nachibinge and family of Wakiso, wish her a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mom Susan Nachibinge, daughter wo Betsy Nachibinge yampereza obubakobo. Awezeze myaka chinana beddu mukama ayongereo kukuwangaza mama. Yes, happy birthday also to Frida Natamba. Yes, she loves you so much. She loves you so much. Happy birthday to, oh God. Happy birthday to Oceans Arthur, 1 year today. May Allah keep blessing you. And happy birthday to Nanyonga Mariam. Thanks for being a great person, from Angela Nawampande. Wow, tubagaliza birungi birere. Our own Dr. Nanyenya Nicholas yabadde nominated for Heroes in Health Awards. Wow. Pay attention to vote for Dr. Nanyenya. It's a public choice award where members of the public nominate and vote their heroes in the health sector. Find out, or we'll be telling you how you can do that. Welcome to the show. It's 6th of November. I have an interesting person, one of those people you have to listen to and get to know where she gets the courage and strength to do what she is doing at the moment. Farida, Mwasuze Mutya. Okay, the first time I saw the person I have in studio today was quite a number of years ago. Yalimu muzannyo gwe nanyumirwa ennyo. It was a drama series called Hand in Hand. I'm sure she also doesn't think. She's not sure I know this, but I loved her part. Yali Carpenter. Am I right?
I was a metal worker.
Yes.
I was pretending to be a boy.
Yes.
I was Ronnie.
Era bwe nakulaba bwenti, I knew I saw this face somewhere. Era ngero kulonyereza nga she's that Ronnie we used to see in Hand. Back then nalaba nnyo Hand in Hand because mwalimu Richard Twanje. Richard is my OB. Twatulanga fena ku desk ye munge fujjo lingi. So I paid a lot of attention. I think it was the first time I saw him mu industry. So when nakulabye era nembekinga interest. Nengaba this girl who used to act like a boy. Yeah, I know Buvumu to come and stand as president. I picked interest in Ngamba. I'll have to bring Nancy to Tegere, who exactly she is, not just because of Hand in Hand, but also the confidence she exuded on that day, a nomination, the elegance. Ngamba, okay, I need to know this woman more. Good morning, Your Excellency.
Good morning, Farida.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Tusanyise kulaba omanyi Oluganda.
Yes, ndi muna Uganda. Tomanyi nti no tugamba mu mission 56 and leaving no one behind. If we are bringing together ennimi zonna ez'omu Uganda, nina okuyigayo kwa katonotono buli wamu era bwe ngira nga nkola emikwano nga nabo banjigiriza ennimi zaabwe nga ntandika okuzoogera so that I can be as more diverse as I possibly can. Okay, ojja tubuulirako ku eyo mission 56 twongerewo okuginyonyoka, but first bakuzaala Iganga, right? Busoga? Ye nnyabo. Ndi mukyala Musoga. Bazadde bange bombi baali Basoga. Ngamba baali kubanga beeyongerayo bagenda kubeera ne Mukama.
May they rest in
they are
peace.
In a better place than
here. Full orphan. That they are not living to see what their daughter is becoming.
Yes. They're probably watching. Tata wange yali omwami baali bamuyita George Patrick Bagea.
The politician.
Yes.
No wonder.
Politician, businessman, father, policeman, army man.
He was?
Yes, he was a policeman.
Army man at the same time?
No, he was a policeman first in his very early years when he just left school.
So oli mwana wa mujasi?
Yeah.
Now I understand something. The courage. So
yali mu poliisi ne bamwongerayo n'agenda for training n'afuuka munamaje. Later on he became a businessman, then politician, and yes.
He was LC5 chairman? He
was LC5 chairman. He was part of the people who wrote the constitution in the Constituent Assembly. He was RDC Busia. He held a number of, but mostly he was a businessman and a father.
Okay, yali adiringa muki in business?
Yalina businesses nyingi. Yali mu real estate, yali mu stationery.
Okay, kwegambe yiganga teri atamanyi mukulu omugenzi Patrick Bagera.
Sisobola kigamba ekyo because different people know different people. Waliwo abantu abamu abaali bamumanyi naye simanyi oba buli omu yali amumanyi.
Okay, ate mama?
Mama yali omukyala Aida Sise Kubaaza, ye yali mu medical profession, yali mu musawo. Ye yakola ekyo n'afuuka mama. She was a housewife for most of the time I was growing up, and then businesswoman. So she always said she wanted to be
medicine. What?
She did before we were born.
Oh, okay.
Tuliba walabana, yazala ba walabana.
No boy. No,
I was number 3.
Okay.
Still number 3. Na ye family yange nene. So bali bamucha Aida Sise Kubaaza naye yali mukyala Musoga ye nga ava mu kifo kye bayita Namutumba. Edda kyalinga part of Kamuli naye kati districts bazaawula. Kakati nakula nga tata wange ye ebiseera ebisinga teyaliwo. In my earlier years he was in exile most of the time. Yakomawo at some point, so we had to be introduced to him. He couldn't call earlier. He couldn't eddanga bubakuba amasimu.
Asoka kuchima kukyalo ogende ku
booth. Nedda twalina amasimu waka. We had phones in the house. Naye nga embeera yaliwo nga bwakuba bayinza okukimaako mwenna ne babatwala. It was difficult now. It was funny. Not difficult. For us who were young, we didn't really understand. Kati ndi muntu mukulu, I understand that for the adults it was difficult. Now for us, it was more, we didn't know what was going on.
Intelligence yali amanyi. It's even a phone call.
Yes, because a few people in the family died because of those things. You know the havoc that was there in the 80s. So he finally came back, settled, and my mother continued to also do business. And yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in Busoga? I
grew up partly in Kampala and partly in Busoga. Yes. Jinja ndiganga.
Nansi nga kawala akataka kula yali ate. Were you this composed and serious and principled?
Let me give you the answer that we give our children. I used to be the first in class. I was a very good girl. I was very obedient.
You were a singer in the choir, church choir?
Now the truth. Now the truth. The other one was the answer you give
the
to your children. I hope my children have stopped listening, because you tell your children nze yasinganga mukibina, nze yalinga wempisa ennungi, nze yasinganga empisa.
Basobole nabo okulabirako.
So we used to wonder why all our parents were the first.
Kati ali ku baana ali awo kumpi n'abaana bajjewo.
Bajjewo ndyoke mpe answer. I was very active as a child. Okay. I was in the sports club, nali muddusi wa misinde. I started national competitions when I was in P6. Nganziruka emisinde nadduganga 100 meters, 200, 400, 800 ne 1200. Naye bwe nagenda nga nkula nga nsalako, by university I was doing from 100 meters to 400 meters. At university they used to call me the track queen.
Wow. So what competing at a national level?
And international. I qualified for Olympics, I qualified for World Championships. I was an East African gold medalist. I was swimming as well.
Where was I? How come I don't know this?
I think we have an age difference. I'm 40.
No way.
I'm 40 this year.
No
you
way.
Look 18. You look 18. Me, I'm 40. So
no. So you Wait,
So
you went for the Olympics?
No. We qualified and we were supposed to go. Nebatugamba government teina sente.
Teyayina bambi, teyayina.
Teyayina sente biseera ebyo. Naye I am very happy that now people who are gifted in sports can actually
go and
represent. It's getting better and better. Nali mu drama, nali mu choir.
So you were an active pupil?
Yes, I was very, for me I took extracurricular activities very seriously.
Nemu academics?
Nemu academics, yeah.
Era wali first nga bwagamba?
Nedda sali nga
wali
first.
Mu wakati awo?
Nali awo. I was an okay student. I was, once in a while you would be among the top 10. I was one of those students. It depended on the term. Kati second term we yalinga mu sports so munchi. My attention was mostly mu sports because I loved sports. I played netball, I played lawn tennis. Yes, I played lawn tennis, I played volleyball, I played
basketball.
No, basketball I didn't. I played netball.
Teyaliwo oba?
Nedda yaliwo, but at the time when the basketball team was ready, when I could have played, I was focusing on swimming.
Hey, you did all that. Athletics, swimming, basketball, netball, volleyball, netball. What didn't you do? You did badminton as well?
No, I didn't do badminton because at the time I was focusing on lawn tennis.
Hey. Okay.
So it depended what I was focusing on. You did most of the sports. In my earlier school, in primary school, I was in athletics mostly and netball. When I moved to secondary, I focused on lawn tennis mostly. I was seed 2, Uganda, for the juniors. And then when I went to university, and athletics. So athletics has been throughout, I've always been a sprinter throughout from primary to university. University, then I focused on swimming. I was the Makerere University swimming captain.
So what are you going to
Olympics captain.
What are you qualifying which?
For athletics. Kubanga nali nziruka nnyo.
Ngogenda kuduka 100?
Yes, I was going to represent Uganda in 100, 200 and 400.
Wow. Okay. Where do you get this sports side of you?
Both my parents were sports people in school. Actually, my mother taught me how to swim. My father used to be there. He liked tennis. My father liked lawn tennis. So, ngelugoga jana aberawo. Nozanya once in a while he would look at you. So, even the first racket I used was my father's old racket.
Okay. Never sisters bonabo bali bagala sports.
All my brothers and sisters. I come from a big family. I have 18 brothers and sisters.
Wow. What's the tugamba 4?
No, that is my mother's children.
Oh,
I was talking about my mother at the time. Na ye busoga tetubala baana. Abazadde tebabala baana. Fe tubaira tumanyi nti no, all these are my brothers and sisters. Because of how we grew up, my uncles and aunties were very close. So my family, to tell you the honest truth, until I grew up to a certain level, it was difficult to know who was my brother, who was my sister, who was my cousin, who was, because twalinga twakulira. So my family is very big and full of love.
All right. So you're also a loving, lovely person.
Yes, I like a lot of people. I like having, especially, I like being around people. It is amakagala bantu. Amakagala bantu. Aha. So I like having people around.
Okay. So were you not dreaming any more sports? Or why because you were talented?
No. When I was 9 years old, I had 3 dreams. One, I wanted to go for the Olympics one day. So I worked towards that. I wanted to go for the Olympics one day. I wanted to become a president? A lawyer. No, president not yet. President comes in later. I wanted to become a very good lawyer when I grow up. And then when I grew up, I became nengenda nnyo mu byeddiini nendabanga all the depictions of lawyers I was seeing at the time. Lawyers nga ebintu ebimu be contrasting. So I thought, can I be a good Christian and be a lawyer? Your dream nenji negenda. So I remember my father telling me when I was joining university, you said you wanted to be a lawyer. I said, no, I don't think I can go to heaven and be when I'm a lawyer. So, because I didn't.
I will not get and also my theology.
Nedda, sisomanga. I've never gone to theology school. I've self-taught and I've spent na loko kandi wa miaka 8.
Oh.
So I've been in church a lot. So
because of that,
nedda jajja wange yali omulokole bali abazuukufu bennyini. So she started teaching me the Bible nga ndi about 5 years old. So slowly by slowly wakati waina omukyala omukozi yali mulokole yantwala ku crusade ku Main Street ya Jinja. Bwe bayita altar call abantu abakulu ne basituka nange nensituka. I was the only child. Nensituka, I gave my life to Christ, to Jesus. Kakati nentandikira.
Walokoka totegedde.
Nedda nali ntegeera era abantu abasinga abakulu abali wakabagamba no waliwo byategeera, but surprisingly we remained like that. When I was in P5 ebuddo ne tukola ki, there was like a revival in school. Waliwo muwala bali bamuyita Sharon mu P6 eyatandika ne tutandika ate ebuddo twali tusaba nnyo kubanga ba house mothers bali batusabisanga ku macha nga twakazuuka n'ekiro nga tugenda kwebaka. So there was a revival in school and it excited us for Jesus. Eddiini ne lyeyongera nnyo tugenda okutuuka Namagunga nga eddiini ate lingi nnyo. So a lot of my decisions in life have been based on my relationship with God. I want to have a very good relationship with God. So can I do this? Can I do this? So I tried to do that. Naye ng'omuntu ebyokugwa tebibulamu.
You had 3 dreams to participate in the Olympics,
to be a lawyer
and
to become
a mother.
No. Oba abantu abawulira kino basooke baswitchinge off tulyoke tukimalirize baleke badeko. I wanted to go for Miss World. I wanted to become Miss World one day because I watched Miss India and Miss Venezuela in 89 and 88, 89, 90. I watched the Miss World pageant and it was amazing how these girls were so confident and they used to walk.
You were about 9 years.
Yes.
9 years is a bit of
I used to watch documentaries from an early age. Nakuzibwa tata wange yali professor. Because of all the things that were happening, twakula n'abazadde bangi. We had many fathers and many mothers. Kakati ba mothers bo twalina bangi because all my mother's sisters bonna batukuza. Then my father's brothers bonna ne tubeera ne batata bangi. Kati omu ku batata bange yali professor. He was very focused on academics, and so he forced us to watch documentaries from an early age.
News all the time.
News from an early age. So by the time I was 8, I was watching serious programs like UTV yali eraganga simanyi geographical things that were happening around the world, earthquakes, tectonic plates, and all those things. So I got very interested in science early because of the documentaries I was forced to watch. So nembeera nga nkula. So those dreams at some point they keep on changing as you grow older. Ekintu kya president kyo kyatandika mwezi 1.
Ojja kingamba. Tusooke tugende ku kya Miss World ng'olaba
Miss World
pageant yonna.
Yes, it was amazing how these girls went. I liked intelligence. I've always had a problem with women being judged based on how they look, full stop. I used to hear people saying women are supposed to be seen, not heard. So for a long time, when someone told me, "Oh, you're very beautiful," I'd say thank you. But when someone would tell me you're intelligent, I'd be like,
Tell me more.
So I wanted people to see what I was capable of doing and what I can do, more than just being seen like a flower. I'm not saying it is bad to be beautiful. I thank God for, I think, from what people have been telling me.
For the beauty you have.
I think I am a beautiful woman.
You are beautiful.
Thank you. Coming from a beautiful woman, I feel very beautiful.
I saw you walk into studio. There is a way you walk, even Eriko nomination. Like I become your pageant.
Nedda, actually, my father was Ogamenti nakuzibwa mujazi. One, you had to talk to him. Nedda, it wasn't that extreme, but it felt like a barracks at home sometimes. You had to look him straight in the eye when you were talking. You couldn't look down. You had to sit up straight. You had to walk straight. You had to... My dad was very strict, but very loving also. But he was very...
focused.
Tata wange yali muyonjo nnyo, yali... Discipline was like the center of his, I think, world or something. Nga nakatambala ke, you had to fold it in a particular way. Everything had to be in a particular order at every time. So it was not... Olava kapeti eno weri. Bwajjanga ango evuddeko yalinga atambulanga ne protractor, I think, in his head. Because sometimes I would think, does this man walk around with a protractor or something? The angle is slightly off. Nagamba, what is wrong with this? Edda twalinanga tiles waka. Ziti tiles zalinga za plastic. Zino porcelain nga tezinaba kutuuka. Nga you polish the floor. He had to see his reflection in that floor. If he doesn't see his reflection, the house was not clean enough. Oba ekyuma kya polishing kyamenyese oba okikola n'emikono. So we learned you could polish the floor with your hands and polish it well until you can see some kind of reflection in the floor. That's how precise.
Painted every month.
Not necessarily. You couldn't touch the walls.
Dust.
Dust? I don't know. I think also the dust feared my father.
That's a good one.
It was, everything had to be in a particular order. Everything was about discipline. You had to be neat. We had to wake up at a particular time.
The performance in class had to be excellent.
I never performed well enough for my father.
All the time, Yaringa, Nancy, you can do better.
If you got a D, he said you have to get a C. If you get a C, it's a B. If you get a B, you get A. If you get A, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say anything. So you'd wait for him to say, this is an A, well done. If it was excellent, we would know because he'd keep quiet.
Okay. So pageant, Nizo Nyumize pageant, where did that dream end?
It ended, I threw it out at some point. And I forgot about it. And then to Belaku University, first year.
Wasomera Bodo, Namagonga?
Mariam High. Nasomera mu namalira primary e Buddo.
Je watandikira era?
Nedda.
Watandikira?
Natandikira ku Kitante Primary School. Naliyo for P1. We shifted to Jinja. Nengenda mu Victoria Nile Primary School at Jinja. P7 nenjimalira e Buddo. Then for secondary, nali Namagunga for O-level. Makati, I had challenges in my S5 because I got sick in my S5. You know how it is when you're growing up. When you're a teenager, your body is adjusting to a lot of things. You're in adolescence, your body is adjusting to a lot of things. So I had challenges. I think I'm in PCB.
Wow.
Mathematics.
Nali
njagala kubeera doctor. I wanted to be a cardiologist or a genetic engineer because I started doing research on genetics when I was in my S2, S3 there. So I was very I was very fascinated about genetic engineering.
Okay.
Eyo najisuula olw'ensonga. I didn't feel, at some point I realized this was not very Christian to mess around with genetics. So I decided, genetic engineering, you know. Means of agenda muguru. So genetic.
No jibako. Kade wa president bobe bunakutwala muguru. There are decisions you must make.
Obwa president bukulembeze. Ate oli omunene. Katondo w'omuguru. He's been King of Kings and Lord of Lords for all eternity, even before the earth was there. So I believe nti ye president wa president, ye kabaka wa kabaka, ye Lord of Lords, buli kimu n'ebigambo ebirala bye tutamanyi. So I believe that if my leadership is modeled according to what he wants, njagenda muguru.
Inshallah. Kakati nosula PCB
nakola PCB mathematics when funamu obuzibuzi bwawo mu S5. mathematics in HSC, if you miss 1 week,
go with
so I kept on being in and out of school almost 5 hours. But then so I decided, you know, I had wanted to do PCB art because I'm very good at drawing. I'm very artistic. So I wanted to do PCB art, nebagana. They said, if you do PCB kaka, you have to do what the teacher said you do. So nenkola mathematics instead. It actually came out handy, and my father was very proud of me doing mathematics because he used to say, there are very few girls who are gifted in math like you are. So why don't you? Eventually, because I was in and out of school the first few terms of S5, then said, oh, let me drop mathematics. But I cannot do art. So I was told that the option I had was foods and nutrition. Okay. Which was a blessing. Because
you're a foodie. Hey, what do you do those things?
No,
because you're a foodie, you eat.
No, not really eat. I like cooking. And people eat, and I like to watch people eat my food. If I can cook and you eat like that, I would be
satisfied. Kakati, Nova you in Namagunga. No genda Mariam High. Is that why you left for Mariam High?
No. I did 2 schools in between. Naliko Bugema for a very short time. I was very uncomfortable with a mixed class.
Hey, when
Navenda Magunga for O level, my father was told, you know what, that girl needs a balanced life. Take her to a boys' school. I said, but I have brothers. I don't need to be in a boys' school.
A boys or mixed?
Mixed school, sorry.
Hey.
So they took me to Bugema, and oh my goodness, I was so uncomfortable in class. I was so afraid because as your teenager, you're working out a few things in your life. And then there is that time of the mouth. And
very
you, because you're a teenager, you think everybody knows what is going on. So the boys are very... It was a very uncomfortable place. I wasn't yet used to boys because I'd been with the girls and yourself and all that. And these boys, they behave different at that age. Where they have matured. At that age, boys are very funny.
They are also bullies.
Yes.
So never could you?
Bullies go bullying.
Hey, you're unbullyable.
I've been this height since I was 13 years old. So by default, I was...
You're a bully.
Reasonably tall. I was not a bully. I was actually...
Height you threatening.
I couldn't get bullied.
Okay.
Very easily.
Ne focus, ne seriousness, Jewaliko, because of how you were brought up.
Yes.
So, tugenda kwa Nancy. I'm enjoying the story, by the way. I'm enjoying the story. I want to know why your dad, who wanted you to be a sports person as well, couldn't sponsor your trip to...
No, he didn't want me to be a sports person.
No,
he didn't want me to be a sports person. He asked me, look here, go to school, come out, get a job, work hard and be something. Sports at that time, music, dance, for sports, you are not serious. You just want to run around. So when Namugamba Daddy have qualified for Olympics and they've told us that the government doesn't have money, but we can self-sponsor. So I told him that if you sponsor me, I'll be able to be in the Olympic village and will do well. I promise you I'll bring you back a gold medal, a silver medal, a bronze. At least I'll bring back a medal.
Rubbish.
You want to run around? Hey. I have a big compound. Run around.
Run around. Dad was so mean. All right, looks like we have a lot to talk about. So I'll just get straight into what we were talking about. Yes, I'm with Nancy Kalembe, a presidential candidate. Yes, ready to go traverse the country from here. Again, Denga, Anonya, Kaldu. I don't know how you're going to manage all these districts in just 60-something days. But I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yes, Nancy. Madenja kuboza kucha tata ya kugana ogena mu Olympics. Then you excelled so much for swimming.
I didn't make the mark for Olympics for swimming. I made the mark for Olympics in athletics.
Much later?
No, earlier.
Earlier?
Yes.
Olympics were qualifying at what level of your education?
I was at university. So I continued focusing. When I didn't go for the Olympics, because athletics training is so painful, there are parts of your body you do not know exist until you do athletics training. No funa muscle pull in a place and you realize no one on our muscle. So the fact that I didn't go for Olympics discouraged me about athletics. Nenzira mo swimming. So I've put all my energies in swimming, and I ended up going for East African championships, university championships. Gold. Yes, I got. Wow. I was an East African gold medalist in swimming. Wow. So life moved on from university, and I started working.
Wamala twakomienga math omusude.
Nenkola foods and nutrition instead.
You performed well, I want to assume.
I performed okay. I wasn't an A student. I just performed okay. Nothing,
so you went for which?
Nothing to write home about. Nakola Bachelor of Science for Population Studies, Elimu Institute of Statistics and Applied Economics. Ne majoring am actuarial science.
What?
Actuarial science.
Actuarial.
Math. Mathematics, to put it basically. People who have completed, who have become actuarial scientists, ngabakoze all the 12 papers of actuarial science, bebali behind the planning figures. National Planning Authority does the front. Botunulida insurance companies, our financial system from Bank of Uganda, interest rates, botunulida premium rates is insurance companies. Most of the financial planning and the numbers that you see when you walk into a bank, when you walk into an insurance company, National Planning Authority, Ministry of Finance, all those, they are based on the figures calculated by actuarial scientists.
Wow. All right.
So you never see them in the
Was your
front.
dad happy with your course?
He always wanted me to do mathematics, or either to be a lawyer or to do mathematics. Because he said, there are very few girls who are gifted in mathematics like that. Kubanga math was one of the subjects I was comfortable with. For me, it was natural. I like other subjects, I will geography yantawanya muko at some point, because I couldn't draw maps very well. Nze nali njagala kuteekamu artistic artistic properly, and my geography teacher used to say, just draw the map, just draw the map, you don't have to.
So you're done with uni?
When I worked through school, I started working in S4 vacation. Nga nalisa agala kusaba mzee sente. Kubanga nga buliro musaba sente agamba for what? But I gave you money yesterday.
There is food. You have clothes.
Thank you.
What do you want?
Those things. Bring a list. Nengamba manyi. Mugeza afuna omulimu.
Are you comfortable with you working?
Yeah, at some point, at the beginning, he was not, because I was not yet 18 years old. Nangamba, you're not supposed to work before you're 18. I said, as long as it is not labor that is forced onto me, I'm the one who's going out, it's okay. So at some point, he was comfortable with me working. So nentandiko kola, I was 17, 18 years. Nakola obulimo bungi. Obulimo bwa S4 obumanyi. Nakolako mu saloon, nenkolako mu dduuka, nenkolako as a receptionist, ebintu bwe bityo. So I worked when I was 17. Nganze buli holiday oba buli vacation I get a job.
Olwo sente ng'ozagaza ki? Ng'era dadi bwe yabuuza.
I don't know.
Gwali ng'oyagala wallet ensawo yeeberemu akasente.
I just liked to save money. I just liked to have money there and save it.
Okay. Tegeza wamalirako uni oteka kuba ina sente zo ngaziwa.
Because I worked through uni. Ku university nakola throughout S6 vac nakola university nenkola. Actually ku university nali nkola ku Sanyu FM.
Radio presenter.
No. I was in the marketing and sales department, ne corporate communications. When navaawo, joining UBC as a news anchor. Ku university, I had that job naye nga weekend nina omulimu mu Wise Empowerment nga tulina abakyala n'abawala betwali tukolanga nabo eyekayunga mu byalo eyo. Nga on the weekends we go and we work with these women basically it was more like mentoring and working with them, encouraging them to find their space without being told you can't do this, you can't do this. So if you wanted to do sciences, we encouraged them to do sports. Basically they used what we had. What talents do you have? What do you do? So that you could encourage other women and girls, and we worked together. So ku weekend nga kyenkola when nali ku university, but during Monday to Friday nga mbeera ku Sanyu FM.
Ku Sanyu gambe wali mu sales.
Yes.
Okay.
Anti nakola from Miss Uganda, that's how I got the Sanyu job.
So kunyumize Miss Uganda. Naye wamugenda mu ngoli ku university.
Yes, first year.
Tata we yabiwulirako.
Yes, I told him.
Nakkiriza.
Kakati eri gundi ya Miss World nali nagisula somewhere along the way, but when I was at university
no mbadde Uganda wali erongo baki.
Not really in the beginning. Kubanga kiri nali nakisula naye tuba tuli ku canteen ku university in first year nga tulaba the Miss Ugandas. Nakamba, wow, this is nice. By then I was a tomboy. Nali nzija, I used to go to class at university nga nyambadde shorts, t-shirt, jeans. I was really a tomboy. Kati
boy wabujanga, you didn't even have brothers.
I grew up, I had so many brothers. My family is big.
Okay.
And at the time I was growing up in my secondary school, balenzi be baliwo waka abawala bali bagenza mu university abala bali batonyo abala. So the people who were influencing me were mostly my brothers. So I used to wear their clothes and walk around with them, and so it was my brother's influence a lot that was in my life. So one of the girls said, Nancy, we dare you to join Miss Uganda. I said, what?
It was a dare.
It was a dare. Nengamba. First of all, I had already had it in one of my archives of, I would like to go for Miss World someday. But, Nengamba, okay. So I went in and picked the forms. Half of me wasn't sure whether I should do this because I knew my father is going to kill me. So
how does a mathematician go modeling around? I can imagine.
Running around naked. So anyway.
Which year were you?
I was in first year. Okay. So I went and told my father. So what I did, I took that newspaper. Malimoba Miss World nemutwalira. Daddy, what do you think of this Miss World? Is very intelligent. Omwaka ogwo, the girl I think who won, the three girls who won, omu yali I think lawyer, she was in law school, omulala yali medical school. The top girls in Miss World that year were very intelligent girls. Daddy, can you imagine these girls? They're doing this. He said, oh, yes. I told him, Daddy, how would you feel if your daughter was one of these, Miss World? He said, oh, that would make me proud. I said, okay. So, do you know that to go for Miss World, you have to be Miss Uganda? Oh, yeah. Kakati nze nagenze dda for what? For competitions, for auditions. Nebangamba nti I've gone through. Kati, I was in between a rock and a hard place. I wanted to do the dare. No? I wanted to prove the other guys that I could do the dare that they told me, but I knew I didn't really want to go through because I was scared of what would happen with my father. So now I went through, and it was exciting in the moment. Omanyi, a high, and then you step out and you're like, oh my God, my father, I'm dead. So so how do you know that the person has to go through Miss Uganda to get to Miss World? Of course you have to be Miss Uganda, then you go to Miss World. I said, okay, so if I became Miss World, you think you'd be proud? Yes, but do you know that I have to go through Miss Uganda? I said, of course. So I said, Daddy, I went for auditions. You what? I went for Miss Uganda auditions.
You can't.
So I was this tomboy that at home they used to call me one of the boys sometimes. Actually, there's a New Vision interview from my Miss Uganda days when they quoted my father saying,
this boy.
I did not know, Akalenzi Kange, because he used to call me Akalenzi Kange for some strange reason. He used to, because I used to be, it was like teasing me, because he wanted me to be girly and feminine and all that. Anyway, so I tell him, and we used to call him Silver Beard. Olabe envize nina. That was a gift from my father. We used to call him Silverbeard, my friend. His face was not funny. Anyway, so nenjogera naye, he finally accepted. He turned around, accepted. He bought me my first pair of high heels.
Look at you as a That is when you acted running.
Oh my God! Yes, I was. So anyway, oh my goodness, that looks like. Looking at it now. Anyway, so Muzei nanzikiriza and I went for Miss Uganda. Looking at it now, it's really funny. So Nengolachi, Nyingira Miss Uganda, he supported me all the way. By the way, he was even there for the finals. So that was a good thing. He just told me to promise you're going to behave yourself. You're not going to do anything indecent. Yangambira ebya swimming costume sikulaba. Your creative wear should not be revealing.
I must approve.
As in, he gave me conditions that togenda kunswaza, you're going to be decent. You're going to, whether you win or you don't win, you have to be decent, and please make sure you just behave yourself. So I said, okay, deal. He was there for my finals. He watched.
Kati byasemingo ebyatuuka. Nebagamba sijja. Wagana.
Twagana fenna. I just helped other people to see the point. Do you know what? As a woman, we are supposed to be decent. Take a team Miss Uganda.
You convinced them to drop that particular?
No, not them. I couldn't convince them. I convinced the girls. Kati, one, Twaina Karen Hasasha in that program. She was my friend.
Karen, that's Pablo's wife.
Yes, Pablo's wife. Kakati, for us, when we went into the Miss Uganda camp, because we used to do our daily devotionals every morning, the girls somehow joined us. So netutandiko kusabanga kumacha before the exercise time Miss Uganda. So that prayer in the morning influenced other people. So by the time we came to talk about the swimming costume, we said, no. We're not going to be indecent. We're going to be decent beauty queens. We don't have to do the costume bit. So never chisula. So all of us refused to do the swimming costume bit.
Okay. So how did you perform?
I was number 4 in Miss Uganda. We had different packages. Wow. It's so many years ago.
Okay.
So we had the person who was Miss Photogenic, okay, Miss Uganda, Miss Photogenic, Miss Sweet or Miss Intelligent, Miss Talent. So for me, I went away with Miss Intelligence.
Kulikayo. So your dream wali cause wali wajisura daily. No ga kino nacho nchimaza abadde abaina kye bakuwayo.
Abadde nedda. They even probably forgot about it. Nebikomaawo nemmala university. I continued working through my university. So awone nfuna omulimu musanyo. UBC, I was working at Sanyo FM, and in the process I met UBC, they were trying, UTV, sorry, I joined UTV. The transformation happened when I was already there. Kati, I met this Kenyan team that had come. I just ran into them. I'd gone, I don't know why, we'd gone for some evening out. We were at a sports thing. I met a Kenyan team that had been brought into UTV to help improve, the channel generally. So I met this guy. So while I was talking, we were conversing with my friend. He walks to me and says, I like your voice. Are you in TV? I said, no, I'm in radio. What do you do in radio? Are you a presenter? I said, no, I'm not a presenter.
You didn't try presenting at Sanya?
Not quite. I didn't think I was interesting enough to be a presenter.
Okay.
So I didn't try. So Nangamba, this is my card. Please call me. I think you'd make a good news anchor. I said, okay.
No mukobera.
So I arrived at UTV, Ngabama Lokola interviews, but he said, there's someone I want you to listen to, one more audition. So I sat down and they gave me a bulletin, I read, and they said, okay, you're in, we start training. So Bale Francis Natandiko to training, and that's how I ended up in UTV.
Ngochali kuyeni obanga umaze?
Nedda onali maze.
Okay. Then why did you leave?
I got kati bwe nali ku UTV. We transformed from UTV to UBC. I read the last news bulletin of UTV and I read the first news bulletin of UBC. Kati bwe nali awo, I got an opportunity. Waliwo omukyala yali yandaba mu first year nga nziruka emisinde. Yajja Makerere nga tuli mu athletics training. Nandaba